All right, I got another episode of, well, this one is Mike's Simplicity Sunstar, but it's really our parts tractor. So it's a late 80s Magnum 20, so it's a twin cylinder, 20 horsepower. Really nice engine. That's what we want. So we're looking for his the motor. He went and got it. I think it was in New Jersey. Quick backstory. He needed a motor. He had a nice motor on his machine. Any that's people that have been following what we've been doing on this whole series, you'll see what I did to it, and it came out really nice. It's nicer than mine, and that motor ran really good. And then he had these issues with it was the oil sending tube, pressure tube that goes up to a gauge, and he didn't know it was leaking, and all these things happen. Anyway, I've showed this before. It's in the folder, and the motor is knocking. So that motor's got to come out. I said, why don't you get another motor? I was talking to the fellas the other night on the live stream, and one of the fellas said to me, he goes, well, because he knows exactly. You can get one of the newer motors, and then you can get the 5/8 adapters, and I don't know, whatever. He went on and on and on. Yeah, absolutely, dead straight. And maybe for another machine in the future. But I said to him, these things are getting older. They're getting hard to find, and we really, not just for the sake of the motor, but all of the other parts, the potential transmission. I have some issues which I'll talk about in this video. See if you can find another tractor, a parts tractor. Well, Mike, he's kind of like the god of, and even self-acclaimed and proclaimed of like $200, $250 cool things. Well, he scored. So let's get this thing in the shop, part it out. I did this sort of late last year or very early in the year before all the storms came and the horror. I don't have to tell you. Yeah, that's a lot. It's almost up to about 4 inches in some areas. But we got to get it out of the yard. It doesn't move anymore. It did move. We did drive it back there. And again, that's another video. They were going to drag it back. The steering has stopped working. There's a few other issues with it, but the motor is still good. Let me show you what I did, and we'll get a closer look at this thing. As I used to say when I was a young man, pulling cars apart and building hot rods and custom cars and show winners and just fooling around, dragging crap home for just about any kind of machine, I used to say to all the fellas back then, parts is parts. Yes, and parts is parts, and what better way, right, to drag a non-running, difficult 1,000-pound piece of steel with flatty wheels and no steering, and what better way than to drag it across the yard 100 and something feet and try to wedge it into a small garage than, well, with another Sunstar. Not bad. Nice little cradle, right? I'll turn the volume down a little bit. That's a little better, but I wanted to leave it up a little so that you could, I love, Ken and I, Ken Small, we love the sound of hydraulic drive.
With the steering, it don't work no more.
See?
Yeah, she's fighting me every step of the way.
It's like the Sunstar train. Oh, the stuff I get into. But, it's fun,
I'm going to have to course correct, slowly turn the wheels. I want it nose in. That tire there, the rear one's hitting a little flat. I'll turn the tires the other way, drag it forward, then we should be able to get it from behind. Plus, I can shove it, but, it tears up the lawn. You can shove it. Yeah, it's time for the bullfight.
Yeah, the bullfight. Oh, yeah. Move, you. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, that's almost perfect lined up. A little bit more.
That's what she said.
Just a few things to do, but yeah, we'll get some air in that tire. It's close enough. I have lights over here. We're about to lose the light, but I mean, it just works really good, shoving everything around. There's different points where I can tug, pull, shove with the hooks and everything. It is what it is. There's nobody here to help me move it. Besides, you wouldn't be able to steer it anyway. The steering wheel doesn't do anything anymore.
Shoving. Shoving.
All right, there's certainly enough room to walk around, and this is movable, but I'm going to need this welder and that lathe to do something, to try something for the green machine. And this is pretty good, and I can move it back, right? Also, I can jack it up and position it where I need it. So this can just be moved out of the way right now and just be pushed to the side. One of the things I want to do is I want to come up with some kind of a chain holder for all of this, like maybe 2 of them.
Mike says I need loops, like steel loops, like takes like some rod, whatever, and weld it to a little base and maybe screw it in or weld it in. But yeah, he says they use loops. I didn't know. He gave me the chain pull.
Or weld it on? I don't know. We'll see. We got to experiment. But this is no good. This chains flop all over. But I think this is pretty good. All right, we got room here to move.
All right, so we're good to go there. I'm not really sure what's going on in the garage yet. That's a whole nother project. I'm slowly creating a spot for this kind of stuff. Easier access, lifting. I want as many things as possible for now on wheels so I could move it around and try to figure out. It's a smaller space than in here. And I want all of the welding, the grinding, the dirt making, and the sort of easy access to bigger stuff being able to be wheeled around and pulled in there. That's the plan for now. That will develop as time goes. You'll see changes there. But so far, so good. Let's get to work on this project. Let's see what the parts bounty is. It's like the reverse parts cannon. Instead of just ordering everything, and that's what I was saying to the fellas the other night, is like, look, if you buy a parts machine, when you can get them, like Zippo has all kinds of these things, right? And he's got better access to them where he is. We really don't. So in a lot of ways, it's best to scrounge now. My buddy Mike is on the scrounge hunt for a lot of things. We're at that age and we have a bit more time. And these things are at that age where they don't have much more time. We need some stuff. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff on this score is exactly what I need as well. So this, I think, is really going to work out. Let's get to it.
All right, I made some room. Just kind of pushed everything out of the way. It's good enough. It's nice having this on wheels for now. Like it'll probably wind up over here more out of the way, but that's another couple of months off. So we got it up. As you can see, I got the cover off. So to take this off, right, this is this whole bar. It's got some heavy duty mount underneath it. Everything on here is like badass. Look at that. I don't have anything like that. We got this sort of fuel line stuck over here. We might as well take that off because it's not going to be something we use. Yeah, let me noodle around. We still have a ground here. We got a ground there. We could take that off. I just want to show you. This comes over to here somewhere. Not really sure because things were changed, but I do want to sort of document. We'll pull the throttle off. Yeah, I just want you to see it. Oh my God, it was running and this plug was loose. Why is everything I touch is like that? But we're going to want to get the plugs out anyway because we're going to need to turn the motor over a little bit, probably by hand. So we want to make it a little easier, so that's something else we want to do. It needs a little bit of repair because it got damaged. It should have a little hole down here. So if the water does get in, it doesn't freeze. That's what happened to it. See the bulbous bulge? Well, now it has a hole here. But he can fix all that up. Last bolt! Oh. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, let me get out of here. Oh, it's nice underneath here. But come get your part, Mike! All right, put the bolts in it. You can see the water over there coming out of it. That needs a sleeve put over it. This here, you don't have to go all the way around, like a patch or something, straighten it out, because it's weak. It's weak. And it could fall apart. And like I said, you need to drill it in a few spots. That's this side. Not bad, right? I mean, it ran okay. The brown is interesting. This one, That's even more brown. But it ran good, and that's nice. Chocolate brown. I say that's pretty nice. All right, so the nut on the starter motor, that was loose. I almost didn't even need the wrench for that. And I went to take off the fuel line, and on this right angle fitting, oh, look. I mean, just jam it down. Oh, it's tight now. Oh, it's better. That'll hold. Yeah, let's just let fuel leak all over the engine. So this is a newer carb. Just let it leak. Okay, what's going to happen? Maybe it'll catch on fire. This bolt here is a little bit different because the starter motor's in the way, so there's no nut on top. It's just a piece of steel with like a little lip on it, and it grabs the nut because it's got to be very low profile. So we want to keep that together. Yeah. Yep, that's it. They're not in great shape, but they're in better shape than his machine and my machine. You know, these motor mounts. It's captive with the starter motor. It doesn't really come out. You put it in before the starter motor, be my guess, it doesn't want to come out. I can raise up that upper beam if I need it. Pretty much all the wires are off. So I put this back after I moved everything. And I just want it up high enough to clear the tires. We'll try that first because there is enough room to move this back and also to the side. It has to come up, come forward, but we have to pry here. I don't think there's anything holding this on. And I want to rotate it. We'll put a little pressure on, but I want to rotate it. Is there a set screw? I mean, there is a grease nipple there, but is there some kind of set screw? So I lubed it up. Let's just see what happens. Oh, why you do this to me? Oh, how did this get all messed up? Hold on. Well, I don't know if that'll hold. I don't really like those clevis pins. Look, here it comes. That's it. So it floated a lot. Oh, look, it's coming. It moved quite a bit. Yeah, something like that. Give it a yank. I like that. It is yanking. Yank it. Yeah, it's going. It will go. This is moving nice. See, mine's all messed up. Just put a little bit more pressure on it. That's it. It's free here. Yeah, that's it. We hung up on something. It's just a little bit stuck. We're off here. Shaft is off. We're up into this area here. It looks like it's hung up a little bit on the pulleys in the front. Yeah, I just gotta finagle it, but it's just kind of hung up on that pulley. It wants to come up more in the front, but if you bring it up, you gotta bring it up straight, and then it'll clear it. Be my guess. So, but it's trying to cock a little bit because the shaft is hanging back there, and the shaft doesn't have a lot of room. So we're running out of room with the shaft. So this slid right off. Mine was welded on. I don't know what somebody was thinking, but you could see the shaft is down there somewhere. All right, let me noodle it. So this had a nice bushing in it and everything. You could see how it sets up. So put that to the side. I made mine, but this is nice. Mine looks just like this. So I'll let it down, pop the spring off, slide the pulley out of the way because it's getting hung up on that stud, and then relift. All right, let's get it out. And I'll come around from the other side, but the Kohler 20. You can see all the junk in there. I try to get that junk out. That's bad. See the hole? Let's just throw a banger wrench on that or something, and it'll pull that off. Because it's out. This motor's in good shape. All right, let me fool around with that. Kohler Magnum 20. I like these motors. All right. But yeah, she's in good shape, this motor. I'll figure everything out tomorrow. I'll just climb around it. I know, you're getting light glare and stuff. But yeah, everything looks good. I'm done. We'll get this thing cleaned up. When we're ready to install it, we'll dump the oil. I got to get a few parts. And these kind of look like they're okay on this frame, but this is definitely like welded there. So we got to get a couple of pairs. There's a lot of junk in there. I bet you the weep hole that's supposed to be there, the drain hole is clogged up. I'll pull a few more parts off of it. It's just a few things. I'll get it out of my way and push it outside, drag it out, find a place for it. That magnet looks like shit. We want to make sure everything is clean in there, looking for leaks. Lube the starter motor. It looks like we need a new fuel pump because that's all gross in there. So it's going to need a fuel pump, which we can take from the other motor. Stuff like that. And there's a few things that we can do. That needs to be cleaned up. Maybe we just want to throw on the one from the other. I don't know. But it does need to be adjusted. A lot of that can be done here. We can mount it to an engine stand. There's a number of things that we can do to it. Just to make sure it's okay before we just slap it in. All right, I'm done. I want to go grab some food. That's for tomorrow. The mess is for tomorrow. You know, why do today what you can procrastinate and hold off for till the next day?
72 hours later.
All right, updates. I think I'll turn the little light on too, just in case we need it. So everybody knows, right? Like something like this, like my rig here. But then Mike was here, and so look at this thing. I just rubbed on a little bit. The bulb that's in here is probably expensive. It doesn't have an on-off switch. We could put one on the power cord. I forget where he said he got it. I just lubed it up a little bit. I got to do the base, clean it up a little bit more, but I lubed up the rest of it. It's hot, so, and we'll probably look at it again another time, but it's got two lenses in it. So there's this glass lens, and then there's another glass lens in there. And it's brighter than you think. And let me feel it. Okay, it's been on for like an hour now. I mean, does it have the light output of the older halogens and some of the stuff, old school, like it's up there, or this one's standing right here that I have next to me in case I need flood light, like, you know, if the sun just went supernova? But it's a nice, soft, natural light with the two together and then a little flashlight. I'm totally licked with light. I want to get this cylinder off. That's next. Because I don't want that outside for who knows how long. I'd like to get the hoses because they're expensive and they're harder to find. Eventually, I might come back for this. If we ever make one of these machines for the bucket, we're going to need another lever, that bracket, and another one of these valves. Now, there is a correct setup for that where everything pretty much just piggybacks and bolts on. But I don't know if we're ever going to find that, but we can take two of those and bend, weld, or make some other bracket for there because there's a bushing or something that's here. Yes, this is an empty slot. Another one comes out and then hits a piggyback valve, and that's what runs your bucket loader or whatever else you want to put in the front. Like in the box, wires, whatever, gauges. I want to purge this cylinder. I can see it down there, but anyway, I want to purge it, and I'm trying to loosen it. So I just want to loosen what I can. Fortunately, that one came off, but this one is loose here, but it's not loose there. So a lot of times what I'll do with that is I'll hit it with acid and walk away. Now we could do that, but I'm going to unbolt it and then we'll just turn it off. So as long as we can unbolt this thing, we'll be able to turn it off. We'll deal with that another time because I don't want to damage the fitting because they're old. I mean, they might, you know, if you clean them up and you put them back because you got a broken one. Zippo did that on one of the machines. He took a system off of one of the other machines. And since he's had so many, he has a bunch of these hoses. You sell them off or you trade them off with somebody else that has a machine or you replace one on your own. And you're good to go. Now you can have a new one made up, but it's got to be made up just like that. So there's your example. And you could give that to a hose company and just say, here, just make me, you know, two of these exactly like this, and they'll make it happen. But it's nice to have one hanging around. You can get to it another day. The cylinder off. We're going to let this stuff drain. It's draining. So this one over to here, this guy to here, right? And it comes down, runs through that little holder, and it goes down to there, right? The back side of the slave cylinder. It's down there. So on this side of this slave cylinder, because we'll be taking that out too. I don't want any of these cylinders in here if I can help it. Plus to get it out of my way. Now this side went to here, and it goes all the way around, all right, to the top side of that slave cylinder. And you might be able to see it. Let me hold it steady. Hold on. Best I can. See it? That's where it goes to. We'll take it off from over there in a bit, but now that they're out of my way, so now we want to go from here. All right, so this is the one that went to the far end of the cylinder, and this went to the rear of the steering cylinder. And this guy actually goes over to the far right. See it there? Far right. And the one closest to the camera, which is, we'll say top far right, top near left, comes down and goes to the backside connection of the slave cylinder for the wheels. So now I'm going to work on that. So I cleared this area up. I also took the fuel line out of the way. And so now I'm going to work on that and see if I can get to it. And then the bottom, it almost looks like a middle. But this hard line comes up to here. And you can see that comes down over to here. And this guy, all right, this is all cooled, so it's going to come back as a return, somewhat lower pressure to the pump on the transmission. So I'll lay out more as I go. So I labeled all this up. Okay, and that all goes with this. They're in excellent shape. There is some nicks and what have you, but these things are very high pressure, and I'll get a closer look tomorrow, but they look like they're pretty good. This is a little locked up on this end, so before I put it away, I'm going to free it up. We'll cap these, and we'll get it in a box. I did push it back and forth, so I tried to empty it as much as I could. It was a little stuck, like I couldn't turn the wheel all the way until I got past a point where probably where it had maybe a little rust or just some junk in the bottom. I could see it's probably going to leak. It's going to need to be rebuilt. I don't know how we would do that, how you would get it apart. There is the dust seal in there for sure. I'm not sure how you would get this apart. If it's possible to get it apart, we don't know. We don't know. Might be that this dust seal, it comes off, and then underneath it might be something that we can grab with a wrench or something, or a socket. Let's just hope we never have to really get to that point. But like I said, we'll cap it off. This came out real nice. These are in really good shape. I don't see any nicks or anything. So this is the slave cylinder, very similar to that one, but this is to lift the deck. And of course we got these guys, got that out, no problem. Mikey, Big Mike showed me a little door that you have to push aside with one bolt. So now we're back to here. This all looks great. We'll have to move it around. I decided that we're going to take this assembly out if we can, because mine got stuck, and a lot of these that it gets stuck so bad, like here and there, that it actually blew out the grease fitting. So there is some issues there. It's a little nasty, but we'll see if we can get in there and get this out, get it apart. That's pretty important. It's basically an idler assembly and a transfer shaft for the deck. So that's pretty important. And I want to see, I think this plate comes out because it's bolted, looks like it's bolted in over here, which is kind of cool because we can use that as well. I may even be able to use that on my motor in case if I don't want to change the bushings, although that's not really a good idea. But we can use a plate like that to mount the motor to, and then mount this plate to a fixture that on an engine stand, like a regular engine stand, we can rotate, not this motor, but my motor and his old motor, his broken one, this broken one first, and we'll be able to rotate it around and move it around and work on it. And we may be able to rebuild and make one good one out of his broken motor and my well-worn motor, because my motor smokes. So we don't know. We don't know if his block is any good, but I think that would be fun. A kind of neat thing. Get up on an engine stand. We got another plate. I got in here real good. We still have a few more things to take off. That's for tomorrow. So we're almost done there. You can see, I just love this thing. Isn't that thing just so cool? You can see all the darn tools I have out. There's a lot of big bolts, smaller ones. Pretty much cleaned off. Here's one of the doors. This one here on that side comes off. It's just a little screw. That's right there. Right down in there. And it'd be a good idea to take this off too, because you can get in. He's got issues with this whole steering box here, that pump box. We are going to take this off and all of that. We'll get all this off tomorrow. And lastly, now this is the pump assembly. This is the drive area here for the main pump and then the transmission. And on mine, I think the threads got messed up. So somebody welded or whatever, really jimmied together, hit the shaft, the half shaft, the drive shaft to the pump splines. So we have a perfectly good one here. This isn't something I want to leave outside. Water finds its way in there and we have issues. We may want to take the steering assembly out. It doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. And is it going to leak? Hold on. It's going to leak. I got to get something underneath that. But we're going to want to take it off. It's dead. Now it's not connected to anything. And something probably went wrong within the steering system itself, be my guess. Could be the way the oil was flowing. It's supposed to be connected hydraulically, and it may have been that it got air in it, or it just wouldn't move. So something went wrong in it. It may be okay. It might just need to be cleaned out. All right, let me get out of here.
The next morning.
Yes, he's getting naked, fellas. I cleaned out all in here so I could get to these bolts. This was packed too. So I want to see if I can drop this unit here. Now, I may not drop it now, but I'm not sure. I think it just comes out. So my guess is bolt here and there's another bolt there. If I can get to it, and then this, well, no. Oh yeah, maybe. So what do you think? Does it come out this way? You guys see that? And there's different bolts down there. Yeah, it's split. It's split here. It's nice when things are cleaner because you can see what's going on. So that looks like it's a separate piece. The engine drives this. This drives whatever's in the front. And at the same time drives the deck or whatever else you got. But the motor is driving the transmission. And the motor drives the transmission with the pump. So I'm not going to take all this off. I took this off. That was a mistake because it might have got a little dirt in it. Even though I wiped everything down, to get that shaft out, we'll have to separate it here. That's also down below. That's not a good idea right now. I'm just going to cap over what we have here. I don't want this sitting outside naked and exposed to the weather. I don't want any hydraulic part like that. Or we're going to have to cap somehow all of the fittings that I took off. So I have a choice. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I would like to take this assembly out, but it's not super important. We could just spray it down with some wax. Just as long as I cover whatever I expose. But this was a problem on my Sunstar. Although I did free it up. This also was jammed on mine. They get seized. I cleaned in there. That was a mess. So it'll be covered. Yeah, look how nice and clean it is in there now. This is another nice piece to have. Yeah, let me noodle around. I'm going to fool around with this to the end of the day. I gave it a couple of knocks at the hammer. Of course, I sprayed it down good with my transmission sauce mix. And mine was really locked in here. And what happens is there's no way to drill this out and replace it. So you have to fool around with it and try to peen it with an awl or something and try to get something bigger in there, and you can't go too far. We might even want to take that out because it could be touching this part of the cylinder. So this is the kind of thing that this is supposed to remain greased, because if you don't grease it, then it won't come apart. So fortunately, like, this machine is in nice shape. All the front end hardware and everything is all very good. So this is the kind of machine that if you wanted to restore a machine and I wanted to completely restore it, this would be the way to do it, is to take it all apart, clean everything really good, pick the best parts of everything. And that still might be a thing that I do. So that's your PTO assembly. I'm just going to wipe this down, bring it over to the other room, wipe it up.
Day 4.
All right, there's very little left that I want to take off. So it's just a couple things in the back. So I've got plugs on here and there. I'll push that back out of the way. I got plugs, plenty of plugs up on those, right? The 5 fittings for the steering. So that's good. Everything else has got some lube on it to some degree. I'm going to spray a little chain wax in a few spots so we can push this out of the way now. Get it? I'll get that in a minute. But I want it out of the way because I want to put the hood back on because I want to get it ready. I'm running out of time. I only have a couple of days. I have the crew out. Look at this. So this one's a fail. Out comes the one that doesn't have that problem. Look at the size of that auger. Look at the size of that hole in there. So that's the problem with the other one.
I know what's wrong with it.
I know what's wrong with it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas. All in the gas.
Definitely
I
can't
know
pretend
what's
that she's
wrong
not
with
your child.
Yeah, she's not. She's my
Ain't got
child.
no gas.
So I'm going to put some chain wax on that guy. And I've got a fitting here, and I just pushed that back a little bit. I got to cover over that fitting. Kind of put, return that hose, whatever. In here, I'll throw a little chain wax on a few spots. But I think I have some ideas for this machine. That would be really good. Chat about that later. Let me keep going.
Eventually.
It's ready. I put this on. That'll protect a little bit. I think we'll cover it at some point. But yeah, it's all prepped. It's good enough. At least I can get it out of here. Put the bolts back on there. But now I got to go start really everything now is cleaning up and prepping for this storm that's coming. Oh boy. Yeah, it's up to my knees. Yeah.
And bada bing, we got parts just like that. Parts is parts, fellas, and we got more parts coming because we got to take his beat motor out. So that's parts for my motor because it smokes a little bit. And I talk about a lot of this stuff on my live shows and Saturday night around 8:30. Most Saturday nights, always around 8:30. If I'm going to do a show, it's 8:30. But most Saturday nights. And I also show a lot of previews, and you guys, guys that hang out get to see some of the stuff unedited, kind of raw, but you get to see a lot of stuff that you really may not see. A lot of the outtakes or whatever. And of course, a big shout out to everybody on the live that come hang out and you have great ideas and share a lot of cool stuff and keep me going. Another little quick peek here. So what's next? We got to go drag in the good Sunstar with the beat motor because it will run if you don't want, if you don't mind the clanking and it's a god awful noise and it doesn't control the throttle very well. And I think that might be some indication of what might be going on. It could actually be somewhere in there. Maybe something broke in the governor, right, governor? A quick little teaser here, made a little receiver for these motors, all kinds of different motors, whatever, any big motor, 2-cylinder or big honker, or, one longer, something I can kind of put on a stand, roll it around. Like I said, I'm trying to stay with this sort of theme and scheme of things on wheels, right? That we can move around and do some testing with. That may even evolve into a run-in stand. I don't know, but This is getting a little bit long. There's a lot involved. There's always a lot involved with your crap, Art. Yeah, because the stuff that I do is not like how to, quickie, how to change a spark plug. Let me help you show you how to do a blade. I've done all of that already, right? I want to get into the meat and the potatoes of some of this kind of cool old stuff. It's exciting. I like it. It's a little bit different. There's not that many things out there on Sunstar, but just in general, anything that's kind of, my thing is, let's just see what happens, right? I got tools, right? I got, my hands are good. We'll go in there and let's just F around and find out. Thanks for watching this episode. I'll see you soon.